Hey, good morning, everybody. Kirk Crabtree here. Just wanted to talk today. I've talked about Thankful Thursdays before. Just want to do a slightly deeper dive. My contact information should be somewhere up there in the corner. Um, so you can get a hold of me if you have any questions. As I always say, we are always looking for facilities, self storage facilities, multifamily complexes, really anywhere in our hubs of Kansas, Cincinnati, Houston, or New Orleans. These videos, these short 5-10 minute videos I put out generally fall into one of five buckets: marketing ops, your people or financials, and of course all that culminates in either acquisition or exit. Today, Thankful Thursday, of course, is all about people. And also, this is a form of marketing because what we're doing is we're reaching out and we are touching not only tenants and customers, we talk about employees and vendors. It's a way to just keep in touch and be engaged, continuously be engaged with tenants and everyone else. So let's get into it. What this looks like. Uh, who do we touch on Thankful Thursdays? Of course, is for our self storage and multifamily. It's all of our move in tenants and our move out tenants. We also, of course, want to reach out and be engaged with our employees, our vendors, our partners, our investors, and then the community at large. Um, Now, you're thinking, Kirk, I don't have time for all this. I mean, I got 50 million other things to do. I set about right at an hour every Thursday to do this, and that's it. I get as far as I can get. There is, a precedent. There is a batting order of those that I reach out to, but about an hour is what I set every Thursday. I just finished up with this for today. Today is Thursday. Um, if it takes me longer than an hour and I didn't reach everybody, then we have to start looking at automating the system. All right. And we can get into that later about automating some of this stuff. Some of it's already automated, of course. But in the end, it's going to be too many people to contact within 1 hour on a Thursday. So we'll just do more automation, but still making sure that we're making it as personable as possible. So the first ones that we reach out to are our move-in tenants of either self-storage or multifamily. We pull the report from our software. We use storage in our self-storage, and that report gives us the move-ins and the move-outs, so it's only one report. Um, Pick up the phone, start smiling and dialing. All right, we thank them for choosing us. We verify any missing account information as far as addresses, emails, phone numbers, etc. We ask, how did they learn about us? And this goes into our data of how good is our marketing working. This was already asked during during the move-in process. This should have been asked of how did they hear about us? Was it, Google? Were they driving by and saw the sign? Were they referred by someone? Are they a previous customer? But that's important to know, is how did they learn about us? That helps us, really kind of focus in and get a better laser focus on our marketing. Ask if they have any questions about any of the processes or billing or, how to contact us. And if this conversation went well, if they're like, nope, everything's great, all my info is great, I appreciate the follow-up. If this conversation went well, then I tell them that I'm going to text them a Google review link. This is also how we build up our our positive Google reviews. If there was an issue in any of those questions, or if they had a problem, or if they were upset or something like that, I'm not going to give them the option of leaving us a Google review. If everything went great and swimmingly, then I tell them, hey, I'm glad, everything's going great. If it's okay with you, I'm about to text you a 5-star Google review link. If you could take about 30 seconds and just mash the link and leave me a 5-star review and a comment, that would be awesome. And I text it to them. Now, I know there are automated ways to send out the email through Birdseye, and there's all types of other programs that can be automated on as far as sending out an email. Emails have what, 15 to 20% open rates, especially when it's coming from a third-party vendor that they don't even recognize. Texts have a 90% open rate. We open every text we get so far. So it's a way to reach out. So we text them that Google review link, and that is how we build up our Google reviews. Then, of course, we update our notes in the CRM. If when we call, there's no answer, we leave a message thanking them for being a customer, telling them it's a follow-up call, asking them to contact the office. I do this for the units, the facilities that I manage, along with my other duties for the partners and investors. As I turned down my phone, I apologize. And then, of course, property managers at our other units, they take care of this also on Thursdays. Move out tenants, the tenants that have moved on, basically the same drill. We're reaching out to make sure everything was okay, thank them for choosing us, making sure there's no lingering questions or concerns. And once again, if the conversation went well, we ask them to leave us a 5-star Google review. We've started to dip into the Facebook reviews. I am just personally used to texting and saying the script about a Google review, so that it's a lot easier for me personally, and that's what we have our property managers doing. We'll probably get into the Facebook reviews later, but right now it's easier just for the Google reviews. And even with the move out tenants, we update their notes in storage for our self-storage people. All right, so that's the first priority of Thankful Thursday, is the move in and move out tenants and customers. Next, we just keep going down the list. We want to be thankful to our employees, our vendors, our partners, our investors, and the community at large. First thing we do is we check for any significant events. And we do that basically for the employees. I go down this whole list and then go to vendors and do it, and then go to partners, investors, and then community at large. Once again, trying to keep this within about an hour of my day. So looking at the employees, we check, whatever CRM you're currently using for your employees, check for birthdays, anniversaries, etc. HubSpot is what we use for vendors, partners, and investors, what I use. But we check the CRM for birthdays, anniversaries, etc., and then communicate appropriately. Of course, if it's coming up, today's Thursday, but their birthday is on Saturday and they're not going to be at work on Saturday, then you plan out, of course. Now you know when to schedule, hey, pass the card around. If you pass the card around to do flowers or chocolates or whatever you do for your employees' birthdays, a card, something. Google for any new news. Generally for employees, we're not going to do this. But anything that is coming up, if we know that, they are getting married, if we have their consent from the employees of, hey, can we share that? They may say yes, they may say no. We still have to, respect their privacy. Okay. But this is a way to build up your social media calendar also. A lot of people are like, Kirk, I can't post on Facebook. There's not enough stuff to talk about every day on Facebook and LinkedIn and all the other social medias. It's like, yeah, there's plenty to talk about, and you can fill up your calendar pretty quick. I mean, just by talking about these 5, demographics right here will fill up your social media calendar quickly. All right. And then I go back to the top, for the vendors, for our vendors. We check our CRM of our vendors to see if there's any upcoming birthdays, anniversaries, etc. We communicate that appropriately, or we schedule that communication if we know it's, the plumber, our main plumber, or our main electrician, or, our banker, or whatever, or whoever it is. If we know their birthday's coming up, then we put it on the schedule to do something, whether that's a card, an email, or whatever. Google for any new news. This is where I will start to Google for the vendors, partners, investors, and community at large. See if there's, any new partnerships. See if they made the news. Everybody, if somebody, even if it's something silly, there was some type of news article about one of your vendors that's positive, then you want to share. Be like, hey, man, I heard this happen. Great job. I saw that. That's awesome. And if if you're tight enough with them, or if you have their permission, then you share that once again on your social medias. Also be like, hey, here's the type of people that we work with and that work with us, and here's a great thing that they did. And you share that as positive news for everybody. Once again, if it's something that's going to be in the future, then you just schedule that for your social media, and it builds up your social media calendar. Then we do the same thing with the partners, same thing with the investors, and then the community at large. There are so many community calendars out there that you can share that information both with your tenants and on your social media. We just got done with Mardi Gras. We have facilities down in the New Orleans area. All right, all of our social media was full of the Mardi Gras stuff. Not to get into the horrible things that happened yesterday in Kansas City, but building up to the Super Bowl. All right, I'm in Kansas. I take care of the Kansas and the border states around Kansas region. So there's a lot of stuff to post about that. If you have a university, if you have a big company or something in your region or your territory, there's so much news that you could be sharing, so much positive news you could be sharing. And not only does it, fill up your social media calendar, and of course it helps the algorithm to where the more active you are, the more the algorithm pays attention to you. It's also just the right thing to do in your community. You're spreading all this positive news about your community, and the people you're spreading that news about, they will reciprocate. They will reciprocate and say great things about you as well. So that is how we do that for our employees, vendors, partners, investors, and the community at large. And I think my last slide was my exit slide. So I kept this right at 12 minutes and some change. So that's how we do Thankful Thursdays. Like I said, I already knocked it out for today. It took me a few minutes over 1 hour. I am looking at ways to automate a few steps. And within the 5 buckets, this of course falls talking about your people. And this is also a source of marketing because it gets your name out there. It gets all your partners' names out there. It's just great information to get out there. If you have any questions or any thoughts, just leave comments, like, subscribe, etc., etc. You know the drill. And right up there in the corner is my contact information if you want to reach out and talk about anything, or if there's something you'd like to see a 5 to 10 to 15 minute video about, let me know, and we'll get one on the books, and we'll take care of it. All right, thanks everybody. Have an awesome day.